Welcome to the Security Foundation's Study Guide. In this video, we will continue with Chapter 4, which talks about risk management, governance elements, and processes. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. So, now let's soar on into Chapter 4. Governance elements. Any business or organization exists to fulfill a purpose, whether it is to provide raw materials to an industry, manufacture equipment to build computer hardware, develop software applications, construct buildings, or provide goods and services. To complete the objective requires that decisions are made, rules and practices are defined, and policies and procedures are in place to guide the organization in its pursuit of achieving its goals and mission. When leaders and management implement the systems and structures that the organization will use to achieve its goals, they are guided by laws and regulations created by governments to enact public policy. Laws and regulations guide the development of standards, which cultivate policies, which result in procedures. Now let's ride into Chapter 3, right after this. How are regulations, standards, policies, and procedures related? It might help to look at the list in reverse. Procedures are the detailed steps to complete a task that support departmental or organizational policies. Policies are put in place by organizational governance, such as executive management, to provide guidance in all activities to ensure that the organization supports industry standards and regulations. Standards are often used by governance teams to provide a framework to introduce policies and procedures in support of regulations. Regulations are commonly issued in the form of laws, usually from government, not to be confused with governance, and typically carry financial penalties for non-compliance. Policy is informed by applicable laws and specifies which standards and guidelines the organization will follow. Policy is broad but not detailed. Standards cover a broad range of issues and ideas and may provide assurance that an organization is operating with policies and procedures that support regulations and are widely accepted best practices. The International Organization for Standardization, ISO, develops and publishes international standards on a variety of technical subjects, including information systems and information security, as well as encryption standards. ISO solicits input from the international community of experts to provide input on its standards prior to publishing. Documents outlining ISO standards may be purchased online. The National Institute of Standards and Technology, NIST, is a United States government agency under the Department of Commerce and publishes a variety of technical standards in addition to information technology and information security standards. Many of the standards issued by NIST are requirements for U.S. government agencies and are considered recommended standards by industries worldwide. NIST standards solicit and integrate input from industry and are free to download from the NIST website. Finally, think about how computers talk to other computers across the globe. People speak different languages and do not always understand each other. How are computers able to communicate? Through standards, of course. Thanks to the Internet Engineering Task Force, IETF, there are standards in communication protocols that ensure all computers can connect with each other across borders, even when the operators do not speak the same language. The Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers, IEEE, also sets standards for telecommunications, computer engineering, and similar disciplines. Now that we discuss standards, let's dive into our next topic, right after this. Policy is informed by applicable laws and specifies which standards and guidelines the organization will follow. Policy is broad but not detailed. It establishes context and sets out strategic direction and priorities. Governance policies are used to moderate and control decision-making, to ensure compliance when necessary, and to guide the creation and implementation of other policies. Policies are often written at many levels across the organization. High-level governance policies are used by senior executives to shape and control decision-making processes. Other high-level policies direct the behavior and activity of the entire organization as it moves towards specific or general goals and objectives. Functional areas such as human resources management, finance and accounting, and security and asset protection usually have their own sets of policies. Whether imposed by laws and regulations or by contracts, the need for compliance might also require the development of specific, high-level policies that are documented and assessed for their effective use by the organization. policies are implemented or carried out by people. For that, someone must expand the policies from statements of intent and direction into step-by-step instructions or procedures. Speaking of procedures, that is our next topic. All information security professionals who are certified by ISC, repeatable activities necessary to accomplish a specific task or set of tasks. They provide supporting data, decision criteria, or other explicit knowledge needed to perform each task. Procedures can address one-time or infrequent actions or common regular occurrences. In addition, procedures establish the measurement criteria and methods to use to determine whether a task has been successfully completed. Properly documenting procedures and training personnel on how to locate and follow them is necessary for deriving the maximum organizational benefits from procedures. Here are some important terms dealing with governance. 1. Policies are the highest level governance documents in an organization, usually approved and issued by management, usually to support a compliance initiative. D1, L 1.5. 1. A security practitioner who needs step-by-step instructions to complete a provisioning task might use a procedure to ensure they are performing the task in a consistent manner. D1, L 1.5. 1. Frameworks or your standards are often offered by third-party organizations and cover specific advisory or compliance objectives. D1, L 1.5. 2. Usually mandated by a government agency, your laws and regulations are a set of rules that everyone must comply with and usually carry monetary penalties for non-compliance. D1, L 1.5. Now that you know about procedures, let's leap into our next topic, right after this quick message. All information security professionals who are certified by ISC Square recognize that certification is a privilege that must be both earned and maintained. Every ISC2 member is required to commit to fully support the ISC Code of Ethics. Now, let's talk about the ISC Code of Ethics preamble. It reads, "The safety and welfare of society and the common good, duty to our principles and to each other, requires that we adhere and be seen to adhere to the highest ethical standards of behavior." Therefore, strict adherence to this code is a condition of certification. It is short, but sweet. Now let's look at ISC Code of Ethics. Canons. The canons represent the important beliefs held in common by the members of ISC2. Cybersecurity professionals who are members of ISC2 have a duty to the following 4 entities in the canons: protect society, the common good, necessary public trust and confidence, and the infrastructure. Act honorably, honestly, justly, responsibly, and legally. Provide diligent and competent service to principals. Advance and protect the profession. To review, you were then introduced to organizational security roles and governance, the policies and procedures that shape organizational management and drive decision-making. As discussed, we typically derive procedures from policies, policies from standards, standards from regulations. Regulations are commonly issued in the form of laws, usually from government, not to be confused with governance, and typically carry financial penalties for non-compliance. Standards are often used by governance teams to provide a framework to introduce policies and procedures in support of regulations. Policies are put in place by organizational governance, such as executive management, to provide guidance in all activities to ensure the organization supports industry standards and regulations. Procedures are the detailed steps to complete a task that will support departmental or organizational policies. Finally, we covered the ISC2 Code of Ethics, which members of the organization commit to fully support. Bottom line, we must act legally and ethically in the field of cybersecurity. If you find this video useful, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. To see more videos like this, please click in the rectangle in the middle of your screen. To see other videos from this channel, please click the circle on the bottom right. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day. See you on the next one.